Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So as you guys can see by the title of this video, this is going to be another book haul. I've always been a big bookworm ever since I was a kid, and I read a lot in high school, but then after high school life kind of gets busy, and so it can be really hard to like actually get back into reading. But I think since about 2021 I have been loving getting back into books, and so obviously with the rise of Booktok and Booktube I have been consuming a lot of book content, and I found a lot of recommendations that I wanted to give a go. So I have bought a lot of books lately. You guys will know if you've been on my channel for a while that I've bought a lot, and I'm back with another haul. So everything in this haul has been purchased brand new. Again, I try and buy as many books as I can secondhand because a lot of the time it's pretty easy to find things secondhand. I'm gonna do this by genre, so I've split them into 4 genres. So I've got romance, Christian, thriller and fantasy. So I might start off with fantasy. So the first fantasy book that I have is this one here. This one is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I can't remember the name of this trilogy. I think it could just be the Powerless trilogy, but I could be wrong. So this book was a new one, I think, that came out last year, and the second book, which is called Reckless, I'm pretty sure, is due to come out this year, like later on this year, which is really exciting. And then I'm not sure when the third book is coming out, but I saw Rachel Catherine rave about this book, and so I thought I would give it a go, and I thought it was a good time now while only the first book is out. I'm pretty sure this author is like 18 as well, so the fact that she's got this much hype for her books already is crazy. But I'll read you the back of this one. So it says, "Only the extraordinary belong in the kingdom of Isla." I think that's how you pronounce it. So it says, "The elites have possessed powers for decades, gifted to them by the plague, while those born ordinary are just that, banished from the kingdom of Isla and shunned from society. No one knows this better than Peyton Gray, an ordinary posing as a psychic to blend in with the elite. When she's unsuspectingly saves one of Isla's princes, Haites, she's thrown into the purging trials, a brutal competition showcasing the elite's powers. If the trials and the opponents within them don't kill her, the prince she's fighting feelings for will, if he discovers what Peyton is, completely ordinary." It says, "Be swept away by the first in the epic and sizzling fantasy romance trilogy taking the world by storm." So it's kind of like giving Hunger Games vibes, and I loved the Hunger Games. I read that when I was 14. This one I just purchased from Whitcoulls, and it was $26. The next fantasy book is Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. Again, I heard Rachel Catherine rave about this book, and so that was enough for me to go out and buy it. So this is going to be the first book in I think it's a duology. So this one says, "When two rival journalists find love through a magical connection, their fate depends on their facing the depths of hell together. After centuries of sleep, the gods are warring again. Expelled into the middle of a mystical war, magical typewriters in tow, can Iris Winnow and Roman Kitt's unlikely bond withstand the fight for the fate of mankind, and most importantly, love?" Sunday Times bestseller Rebecca Ross begins a sparkling new duology with Divine Rivals, an epic enemies to lovers fantasy novel filled with hope and heartbreak and the unparalleled power of love. So I'm pretty sure that like she was writing something on her typewriter, or he was writing something on his typewriter, and instead of it getting sent off where it was meant to go, it got sent to the other person. Like I think it just talks about them kind of like writing back and forth to each other. On the front it says, "No God, no war, no one can come between them," and I just love the cover. I think it's really cool. I'm excited for this. I know a lot of people really like this, and this again was purchased from Whitcoulls, and it was $29. Next up we have the last 2 books in the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. Not started this trilogy yet. I want to read Caraval first, and I've got the first 2 books. I am wanting to get to this and the Caraval trilogy this year as well. So the first book is obviously Once Upon a Broken Heart. Then we've got the second book, which is called The Ballad of Never After, and then we've got the third book, which is A Curse for True Love, and they're written by Stephanie Garber. I know that this is just very like fairy tale-esque, and so I'm really excited to read this. I know it's a really easy like fantasy read. I loved all the like fairy tale stories growing up, so I'm really excited to read these. I know that The Ballad of Never After is a lot of people's like favorite in this trilogy, and I know a lot of people just love this book in general, so I'm excited to give it a go. And now that I've got the complete trilogy, I thought it's a good time to start because A Curse for True Love came out at the end of last year. It's like, how beautiful are these covers? Like, they're absolutely stunning. So both of these I purchased from Whitcoulls. I'm pretty sure I bought them at the same time. So I got them when they were 20 20% off in Black Friday. So the Ballad of Never After was $20 and A Curse for True Love was $22.40. And then the last 3 fantasy books I'm going to show you together. So I picked up the last 3 books in the Haites series. So these are written by Sarah J. Maas. So we have A Court of Wings and Ruin, which is the 3rd book. Then we have the little novella, which is A Court of Frost and Starlight, and then we have the 5th book, which is A Court of Silver Flames. So as of right now, it is just the 5 books that are out, but I know that this series is ongoing. Now I've actually read Akawar and Akafas, and I just have A Court of Silver Flames left, which I'm really excited for. I'm gonna try and read it this year. It's on my 24 books in 2024, which I don't know if that video is up or if it's coming soon. A lot of these books will be like ones that you've seen in other videos as well. I just haven't had time to like film this haul, but I know that this one is told from Nesta's point of view, who is our FMC's sister, and I'm pretty sure we also get Cassian, who I really love. I really love Cassian. I love how like cheeky and snarky he is. It's great, but also how like caring he is as well. So I'm pretty sure it's their points of view in this, which will be really interesting. This is an unpopular opinion, but I feel like I really like Nesta. I think I sympathize with her a lot because I'm the oldest sister out of 3, and I kind of like that she's a little bit more grumpy because I think it'll make her story very interesting. But yeah, obviously like Akawar is chunky. This was like 700 and something pages, and then I'm pretty sure A Court of Silver Flames is like 800 pages or so. So I literally just finished Akafas last night, so I think I'm gonna give it a little bit and then jump into A Court of Silver Flames. But I do love this series. Fantasy is normally my husband's genre, but ACOTAR is like a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I love, like I said, I love all the fairy tale stories, so I thought I would give it a go. Obviously it's really popular, this series, and I do think it is worth the hype, and that's coming from someone who's not normally a fantasy reader. You guys have to see, like, look at him, he's just come and sat down with me. So again, all 3 of these were purchased from Whitkills. Akawar and Akafas were $23 each, and then A Court of Silver Flames is one of the more recent ones that I bought. So I bought that on Black Friday, so it was 20% off and it came down to $23. Alrighty, so that's all for fantasy. Now we will move on to thriller. So I just have one thriller to share with you guys. One of my goals this year is to cut down my thriller genre by half, because I don't read thriller too much, but I have so many thriller books on my shelf. But one that I'm really looking forward to getting to is this one here. This one is 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. Again, I have heard really good things about this book. I know that she writes the Good Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy, which I have, but I haven't read it yet, so I'm really hoping that I enjoy her writing because I've got 4 books by her. This one just says 8 hours, 6 friends, 1 sniper. So basically there are 6 friends who are driving in an RV. I don't quite know where they're going, but they're going somewhere, and their RV breaks down and there is someone who is like shooting at the RV, and then I think it's just like a escape as fast as you can and try and evade capture kind of situation. It gave me a lot of similar vibes to Black Ice by Becca Fitzpatrick, which is one of my favorite thrillers of all time. That one's also a YA thriller, same with this one I believe, and in that like book there's 2 girls who are going on a road trip and their car breaks down, and so it gave me very similar vibes. So I really hope I enjoy this. This one again was purchased from Whitkills, and I got this for a 20% off deal, so it came down to $18.40. Next up we will move on to Christian books. So these books here were both purchased from my church. My church has a little bookstore at church where you can purchase books from. First book that I purchased is one that I actually have already read, and I'd heard really good reviews about this from Rachel Catherine, and I just thought it was like a good book for my lifestyle, and that is Crazy Busy by Kevin DeYoung. So this one just talks about like busyness and hustle culture and how we should view busyness as like a Christian, and what a good amount of busy looks like and what too much busyness looks like, and how like if we're not careful, like if we make ourselves too busy, it can actually affect our relationship with the Lord as well. I really enjoyed this. I got a lot of good wisdom out of this, and this one was $20. And then the last Christian book that I have, I actually purchased when I went to my Women's Refresh like full day conference. So they had like the bookstore up and running, and this was one of the books that one of the ladies who spoke recommended. But that is this one here. This one is God is Enough by Ray Galea. It just says refocusing your life, and then so it just talks about like disappointments in life, just like trying to see if God is enough for us to feel sustained and looked after and loved in this world. And so this one here, my friend Cara and I actually want to buddy read together, which will be really fun and really exciting. This one was $19. And then last but not least, we have romance books. So I have quite a lot of romance books to share with you guys. Some of them again I have read, some of them I haven't, and there are also 3 romance books in here that were a gift, and I just thought I would include it in this video so I can show you guys. But the first romance book that I have to share with you guys is this one here, Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score. So this one is the 3rd and final book in the Knock 'Em Out trilogy. This came out towards the end of last year, and I haven't started the series yet, but I want to read it this year. So now I feel like it's good because I've got all 3 books. I think the first book follows a girl as she is an auntie to her, I think it's her sister's child, and then all of a sudden her sister just up and leaves this child with her, and her sister just never comes back. So she is kind of like forced to like raise this child now that is like her niece or her nephew. I think it's her niece, but I could be wrong. And it's like a little small town, and I'm pretty sure Knock 'Em Out is the small town that they live in. So I'm really excited to read this series. This one again was purchased from Whitcoulls, and it was $22. I also apologize if this lighting keeps changing. I've just turned my ring light on because I realized that was off, so that also might make a difference. So hopefully the lighting is better now. The next book that I have to share with you guys, I literally went out on release date to get, and that is Wildfire by Hannah Grace. So this one here is the 2nd book in the Maple Hills series. So this one is kind of like a series of interconnected standalones. So this one here we are following Russ, who we met in, the first book is Icebreaker, so we met him in Icebreaker, but he wasn't in it for very long, and we are getting introduced to Aurora, and they are both leaders at a summer camp, and I think they had like a one-night stand like back in the day, and now they've realized that they're at this camp and they realize that the other person is also being a leader. So I think it's just like a bit of like a reconnecting kind of situation. But I do have this on my radar to read very soon because obviously it's set in summer. And the 3rd book, which is called Daydream, comes out I think in June of this year, which I'm really excited for because the main character that is in that book is someone who was probably like my favorite side character in Icebreaker, so I'm really excited for that. But this one again was purchased from Whitcoulls, and this one was $27. Next up we have a book that I have actually read. So I read this during Vlogmas, so if you guys watch my Vlogmas you would have already seen this, but that is Lovelight Farms by BK Borison. So this one here is just like a little Christmas holiday romance. You're following Stella, and she owns a Christmas tree farm, and the farm is kind of like struggling a little bit financially, so she enters into this social media contest to win 100 grand, and she basically lies on the application and says that she owns it with her boyfriend, and the boyfriend doesn't exist. And so she asks her like best guy friend to help her basically pretend that they're in a relationship and they're in love and that they own this farm together. So it's got like that fake dating trope. It is cute. It wasn't like my most favorite book in the world. Definitely puts you in like the festive holiday spirit. Very easy to read. There was also like a subplot as well that was happening alongside the main plot. I just wish we got a few more scenes like on the actual Christmas tree farm, like with other people, like customers and stuff, and we didn't really get that. This one here again was purchased from Whitcoulls. It was $20, and when I went to go and buy this, the guy actually had to go out the back and get me this copy because they'd sold all the ones on the floor. So next up we have a book that is again on my radar because it's very summery, and that is this one here. This one is Every Summer After by Carley Fortune. I have been umming and ahhing about buying this book for a really long time, so I thought it was just the time to bite the bullet and do it. So I've heard people compare this to The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han, like that trilogy, and I enjoyed that trilogy. I read it in high school for the first time and absolutely loved it, and then I reread it again at the beginning of last summer. I thought if anything can give me a similar vibe, I will be really happy. This one again was purchased from Wickles. It was $28, but it also had 20% on top of that. I just didn't write down the actual cost of what it was, so 28 minus 20% is how much I paid for this. And again, I love cover. It just gives me like very like summery vibes, so I'm excited for this one. The next two romance books I might do together because they are the last two books in a series. So I picked up the last two books in the Magnolia Park series, so I wanted to get these covers, like the old covers, before they went, because I know that they've brought out new covers of these books and personally I don't like them. I think they make them look very like YA, almost maybe even teen fiction, and they're definitely not teen fiction book. And I just love these covers, like the designs and everything on them I think are just so much better. I have this one here, which like, can we just all take a moment to appreciate? And the fact that like this illustrator who did these covers, they're a new upcoming artist. The fact that they created this is incredible. So this one is The Long Way Home. This is like one of Magnolia Parks' books. They're written by Jessa Hastings. I've read Magnolia Parks, but I haven't read any of the others yet. But there is the last book with Magnolia Parks coming out this year. This is the third book in the Magnolia Parks universe. The second book is Daisey Haites, which is on my 24 books in 2024 because I would like to read a little bit more of this series this year. They're quite like chunky books. They aren't for everybody. They are like quite toxic. They very much give like Chuck and Blair vibes from Gossip Girl, so if you enjoyed their relationship on Gossip Girl, you'll enjoy these books. I did enjoy the first book. I wouldn't say it's like my favorite book of all time. The writing is really good and it's like no other. Like Jessa Hastings, there's just something about her writing and she knows how to write. Like it's really good. And then this is the fourth one here. This is Daisey Haites The Great Undoing. This came out last year, so you kind of have like two main characters in the series. You have Magnolia Parks and you have Daisey Haites, and so I'm pretty sure because in the Magnolia Parks books you have Magnolia and BJ's point of views, and then in this book, like this series, I'm pretty sure you get Daisey Haites, Julian, and there's one more that I can't remember the name of, but you get his point of view in here as well. There's three. But yeah, I'm really excited to continue the series. Now these books I had to order online because when I went to buy this was when I like found out that they were discontinuing these covers, and I have the other two in these covers, and so I was like, oh my gosh, like I need to get my set. I literally called all the Wickleses in Auckland that said low stock and none of them had it, so I had to order online from Mighty Ape. And when I did order online from Mighty Ape, and this one in particular, there were less than 5 left. So I feel very lucky that I have my hands on these. I'm hoping that they're restocked now. I will never ever spend this much on a single book ever again. So this one was $30. That's not too bad. This one was $50. $50. And then the last few books that I have to share with you guys were just ones that were given to me. So these were all given to me by my sister. A couple of them are actually like hand-me-downs from her, and one of them is brand new that I got for Christmas. So I thought I'd show you guys those. So I'll show you guys the two hand-me-downs first that she gave me. So they're technically not new, but they're new to me, and I think she's only read them once. So she gave me The Spanish Love Deception by, is it Elena Armas? I could be wrong. It says pretending to be in love and never tasted better. So this chick desperately needs a date to her sister's wedding, and she has 4 weeks to find somebody, and then I think this guy offers to step in, and so I just thought it'd be interesting. I know it's really popular on Booktok. I've just not read it yet, so thought it was finally time to give it a go. And then the other one that she gave me is this one here. Now I've heard no reviews on this, but I just thought it sounded good. 6 Days by Dani Atkins. It says 2 people, 1 love story. Gemma knows that she and Finn are destined to be together. They are soulmates, but then on their wedding day he never arrives at the church. Gemma is convinced Finn wouldn't abandon her like this, even though he has disappeared once before, but back then he had a reason. She feels sure something terrible has happened, but no one else is convinced. Even when the police aren't concerned, telling Gemma most people who disappear usually turn up in a week, assuming they want to be found, that is. For the next 6 days, Gemma frantically searches for Finn, even though every shocking revelation is telling her to give up on him. And she even begins to doubt her own memories of their love. And then it says, how long can she hold on to her faith in Finn if everyone is telling her to let him go? Just thought it sounded interesting. I thought it was like a thriller at first, but it's not, it's romance. So I don't know how it's gonna all work, but I'm excited to read it. And then the last book was a gift that I got for for Christmas, and I knew that my sister was getting me this because I had asked for this, and she went to buy this I think when she was in Hawaii. And that is this one here. This one is Funny You Should Ask by Elissa Sussman. So this is not sold in our bookstores here in New Zealand. Like, if you want it here, you either have to get it online from Mighty Ape or from Amazon. So I just asked my sister to get it while she's overseas because they stocked it. And again, this has been really popular on like Booktok. I know a lot of people love this book, so hopefully I do as well. Seems like this chick is a writer, and there's classmates that are nabbing like high profile book deals. Yeah, she's hired to write a profile of a movie star, and so I think it just goes from there. So I'm excited for this one. It seems quite short too. There's a second book as well that comes after this. And there we go, guys. Those are all of the books that I have purchased brand new recently. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Please make sure to turn on the notifications and check out my social media. It's always linked down below in the description box. Again, if you guys want to watch more book related videos, I have an entire playlist on my channel called Reading, so I will leave that down below if you guys want to go and check that out as well. I think that's everything, so I shall see you guys in my next video. Bye!